Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dhamma of Peace series number 8. The Four Noble Truths and Satipatthana. The Buddha taught us the priceless Four Noble Truths. The noble truth of suffering is to understand. The noble truth of the cause of suffering is to abandon. The noble truth of the cessation of suffering is to realize, and the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation is to develop. So these four are the Dhamma: to understand, to abandon, to realize, and to develop. On the road to emancipation, one needs to know or understand suffering. There are three kinds of suffering. Obvious suffering, dukkha, that everybody facing every day, all the time. Suffering due to change, viprinama dukkha, and suffering of constant dissolution, sankhara dukkha. One must understand suffering thoroughly by observation. No other way but through direct observation, mindfulness. One will believe life is good and pleasant if one fails to understand the noble truth of suffering. Also, one would not know the noble truth of the cause of suffering and the cessation of suffering. If you don't know the noble truth of suffering, you would never know the noble truth of the cause of suffering and the cessation of suffering. Mindfulness of the body is observing everything in the body to know its true nature. Watching the body, or you can also call the body materiality, or in Pali, rupa. They are all one the same. Watching the body is to go beyond the apparent reality like form, shape, size, color, Not just watching those, you must go beyond it. You will come across it, but you note it, but you go beyond that. First, one needs to experience the specific characteristic of the matter, rupa. Just like hot, cold, warm, or hard and soft, pressure, vibration, cohesion, dispersion. Those are the specific characteristics of matter. When you go beyond the apparent reality, how it looks, you go to the specific nature of the object of rupa, matter. When one experiences the specific characteristic, in Pali it's called sabhava lakkhana, specific characteristic. These are unique only to the matter, you can't find in other things. So when one experiences the specific characteristics of matter, and their successive appearance and disappearance, one understands that matter is impermanence, because they are appear and they disappear, appear and disappear. That is impermanence. And as they are always appearing and disappearing, there is nothing to hold on. That means those matter have no essence or the core, no solidity, no core, no essence. They are simply arising and passing away. So that's a mindfulness of the body. And that's how one observe and experience. First, to see the true nature, the specific characteristic. And the second stage of true nature is they are always arising and passing away, impermanence, and they have no essence and no core. Through your direct observation, you will come to experience these and understand. That's for the matter or the body. Now, the mind side. On the mind side is mindfulness of the feeling. English translation is feeling, but it is better to say Vedana, V-E-D-A-N-A, because for those who don't understand the Buddhist perception, feeling can be interpreted in many ways. Vedana. It is the experience. Vedana is the experience. Feeling is the experiencing pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral feeling. And that is called feeling. In other words, pleasant sensation, you can call it, if you will. Unpleasant, and then neutral. That experience is called Vedana, feeling. When the mind comes in contact with a soft, beautiful, lovely object, it experiences a pleasant feeling. Whatever the objects may be, as long as they are beautiful and good and lovely and cuddly and softly, regardless what object, one experiences a pleasant feeling. Sukha Vedana. When the mind comes in contact with an ugly, gross, rough, or foul objects, it experiences an unpleasant feeling. The objects, they bear their own nature. Fur coat is soft, and the thorn is hard and pricky, and sandpaper is rough. Those are their nature, but when one comes in contact with them, you experience according to their nature, pleasant or unpleasant. When the mind is exposed to an object of no interest, you don't have interest in that object, it gives rise to a neutral feeling. If you don't have an interest, you wouldn't feel anything, just neutral. So 3 kinds of feeling: pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. Also, this neutral feeling always occurs between pleasant and unpleasant feeling, or unpleasant and pleasant feeling. Pleasant feeling automatically shift the gear into unpleasant. From the pleasant gear, it has to shift into neutral gear and then unpleasant gear. The same thing, one is experiencing unpleasant feeling because you are smelling a foul smell. And suddenly you turn around to a perfume bottle and smell it. It was sweet, nice. But from that unpleasant to pleasant, there's another gear in the middle, neutral gear. Just like car driving, and if you want to go backward, right forward, right backward, but you have to go through neutral before you can go to the driving backward. So neutral always, feeling is always there, but we are not aware of it. So note that one. Feelings arises if an object comes in contact with the consciousness. Of course, through the media of 6 sense door. Eye door, ear door, nose door, tongue door, body door, and mind door. Because the object cannot go directly to the mind, the form has to hit the eye door first, your eye first, and then the message is passed to the mind. Like if you want to understand in sequence, linear timeline. But in reality, it's instantly happen. The object, the I, and the consciousness come in contact, and that is called phassa, mental contact. So, when there's a contact, there's a feeling. It is a conditioned factor. Okay? This feeling is a conditioned factor. It has to have a set of certain required conditions for that to arise. That feeling is not I. That feeling is not mine. That feeling is not you or a self. Or a soul. It is the conditioned factor. When a required set of conditions are met at a single point of time, a moment, that feeling arises. But some people think, oh, I feel. No, it is not I feel. It's a conditioned factor. It is constantly changing along with the change in objects. When the object changes, that feeling changes. See, this is not I. This is not self. This is a set of conditions giving rise to feeling. And that is continuously happening because you are not just sitting still on one object. If you sweep your eyes from left to right, there are so many objects pass through. And whenever there's an object of your interest, you focus more. And then voila, pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling. In between there might be about 10 objects you don't have interest. So nothing, just neutral feeling. So this experience, as it is changing so much, it is the experience of letting go. As the objects are changing, you have to let go of one object to go to the another object. To let go of one object to go to another object. So, if you are observing, you will be experiencing the nature of letting go. Okay, that modern popular word, letting go. But if you observe and you know one object after the other, gone, you don't hold on to it because you are mindful, observing precisely. What is happening? What is happening is you are abandoning attachment to the objects. You just simply observed and let go. Observe and let go, observe and let go. In other words, that is the abandoning of attachment process. And what is that? That is the second noble truth. Abandoning of attachment, abandoning craving. One will experience this when observing objects at the present moment with precision and penetratively and deeply. I just use the feeling as an example to show the second noble truth. The third foundation of Satipatthana, fourth foundation of mindfulness, is mindfulness of the mind. Mindfulness of the mind is observing thoughts. In one word. Thoughts. Or you can say thoughts, emotions, and volitions. Cetana, volition, cetana. When you observe, as they occur, not before nor after, as they occur, one must be mindful. And see, when the thoughts comes, don't go into the content, but you have a certain division that you can put into so that you have a deeper understanding of the nature. Let's say your thoughts are about the past events. Label it remembering. And if it is about the future, label it planning. Or imagining, or fantasizing. Sometimes the thoughts simply whisk away, don't know what it is, and just drifted away. Thus, you can put it wandering, remembering, planning, wandering, imagining, thinking. Don't just stop, label it by thinking. After a while, everything becomes very vague. When you go to a little precise category, your mind becomes sharper in understanding. Not only those things, sometimes you'll feel lazy in your meditation. Not lazy or heavy or sleepy. Sometimes you feel greedy, miserly, angry. Sometimes you are not so sure. That means deluded or uncertain. So those are the specific nature of the emotional nature associated with the mind. And if you can put it a little sharper like that, your mind becomes sharp in your observation, not just thinking. That's what it means by thoroughly and penetratively observing. And all these different qualities must be watched and known in their true nature, or another line is, as it is. Pali word is yatha bhutam. In its own nature, as it is, yatha bhuta jnana, or yatha bhutam. These aforementioned mental factors are always associated with wholesome or unwholesome consciousness. Based on their nature, the consciousness may be wholesome. Based on the nature, the consciousness will become unwholesome. Once a yogi begins to experience all these assorted mental factors, good and bad, or functional. Once you express these assorted mental factors and consciousness in their true nature, and also the rapid speed of change, because they are just going one after the other in a fleeting moment, changing. That is the rapid speed of change of these emotions and different qualities of the mental factors. And if you are totally observing and aware of it. At that moment, the concept of self disappears before I am lazy, I am sleepy, I am happy, I am remembering. But if you simply know this is remembering process, this is the laziness, this is anger, with precision, singularly, pointedly on that mental factor, at that moment there is no sense of I. That's what I mean by the concept of self disappear. That is the one experience. Concept of self disappear is in Pali anatta, non-self. And also, this rapid speed of change is changing so quick, so fast. Because your mindfulness is strong and concentration is quite strong and firm. At that moment, you feel like, or let's call it, you perceived that experience as being tortured by this phenomenon. Okay. This is how you perceived when you are seeing these rapid change of objects, both physical and mental, in a way that you cannot comprehend the speed is. You perceived as being tortured by that phenomena. And that means one understands the truth of suffering, the noble truth of suffering. If you want to equate in terms of insight of dissolution, and that is the noble truth of suffering. So in here I use the nature of the mental factors and mind as an example to express the concept of non-self and the noble truth of suffering. Okay, there's one more foundation of mindfulness. Mindfulness of Dhamma. We won't go through everything, but touch the more obvious points. When we see something, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. When we say that seeing, we don't go beyond seeing, it's bare awareness of seeing. Dot, full stop, break. Bare hearing, bare smelling, bare tasting. So nothing goes beyond that. And that is watching and experiencing the process and phenomena. When you say seeing, you are observing a process. When you say hearing, you are observing a phenomena. Why? Because seeing is not just seeing only. When you see, there's an object to be seen, there's a eyesight or eye retina, and there's a consciousness that knows. Those three comes in contact and seeing arises. That is the process. When you say seeing, you are comprehending the whole process. That is mindfulness of Dhamma. One truly comprehends there's no I, there's no self. Or there's no creator or supreme being behind the phenomena of mind and matter. Because that is your direct personal first-hand experience. Nobody is telling you, nobody is lecturing you. Your direct experience. When you have the bare awareness of the seeing, hearing, and so on, you are comprehending non-self, no soul. And to go a little farther, you are comprehending there is no God or creator or supreme being creating and manifesting all these things for you. It is a phenomena. It is a process of mind and matter. Phenomena of mind and matter. That's it, nothing else. Whatever object one observes is to know its true nature. Keep that in mind. Whatever object one observes is to know its true nature, but not to eliminate that object or that feeling or that sensation. Not to eliminate it, not to destroy it, but to understand it. That is what we are doing. We don't try to eliminate, destroy, or make it disappear. Unpleasant feeling, make it disappear. Pleasant feeling, hold on. No. Simply to understand. That is the point of Vipassana. Satipatthana Vipassana. We watch or are constantly mindful to experience and understand the specific characteristics of mind and matter. We watch to understand it, specific characteristic, not apparent reality. When one becomes skillful, the three common characteristics unfold. The constant arising and fading in your observation is impermanence. Torture by constant disappearance of objects is unsatisfactory, dukkha, suffering. Disappearance of personality, individuality is non-self, anatta. Anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Those are the three common characteristics. But we talk about it, we experience it, we think we know, we think we understand. But only when one attains the first path consciousness, Megacita, can one knows these three characteristics vividly, correctly, and permanently. Till before the path consciousness, we sort of know, but we don't truly know. Some yogi gets high on the horse. They think they have seen it, they have attainment. But one has to pass the vipassana insight and experience path wisdom to truly know. In every moment of precise mindfulness, one is at peace. If you are precisely mindful at that moment, you are at peace. No confrontation, no agitation, no irritation, no pleasure. And this is the momentary liberation from suffering. That moment when you are precisely mindful is the momentary liberation from suffering. You have no suffering, no dukkha. So moment to moment we are also experiencing this peace. But at the stage of Satipatthana path consciousness, Satipatthana is a stream winner. Stream winner, path consciousness, Satipatthana mega citta. One realized Nibbana for the first time. To be entirely free from samsara, one must experience arhata mega citta, arhata path consciousness. Such a person does not take the next rebirth. When there is no rebirth, if you are not born, there is no more suffering. That is the extinction of mind and body. That is the noble truth of cessation of suffering. When observing constantly, precisely, and penetratively, I stress these words. These are very important for your practice. Constantly, precisely, penetratively. One applies the right effort, the right mindfulness, and are developing the right concentration. Three qualities just pops up by observing precisely, penetratively, and constantly. And the right thought is the application of the mind to the object at the present moment. That is called right thought. Samasankappa. Having insights into the objects of observation is the right wisdom. Samadhi, you are seeing it correctly. While practicing, one is not engaging in wrong speech, deeds, and livelihood. So, if one has a constant observation of objects of body, feeling, mind, and Dhamma, full foundation of mindfulness. Or you can call it in Pali Satipatthana. One is endowed with the Eightfold Noble Path, the Fourth Noble Truth, the path leading to the cessation of suffering. So, in here we weave through how Satipatthana, Vipassana meditation correlates to the Four Noble Truths, what Buddha has taught us with great compassion. May all of you be able to practice mindfulness, insight meditation, and seize the Four Noble Truths as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.